off your engine!
Design Pill says, CarMax pulled a fast one on me. Recently I purchased a 2011 Acura TSX. It's like in new condition and my mechanic says it's good. But I noticed there were scratches on the rim and gashes on the side of one of the tires. So I told them and they said they fixed it. Well, I got it back. I found out that all they did was spray paint over where the gashes were, and some had oversprayed on the tire. And the part of the tire that was ripped, they took the tire off and they flipped it around so that the gash was on the inside instead of the outside. Help. Yeah, they sure ripped you off, you know. I would take pictures of it. I would actually hire a lawyer because you got a gashed tire. That's dangerous. That's a safety thing. And if all they did, flip it so that the gash is on the inside and you can't see it, I would definitely hire a lawyer and I would sue them, because that not only is fraud, that is dangerous. That's intentional dangerous. They deliberately hid the bad side on the inside. Hopefully you have pictures of it before showing the damage on the outside. And now if the damage is on the inside, you would have no way you wouldn't win in court with a good lawyer. This is why I tell people, we all got our phones, right? Our phones have great cameras. Use them. Take pictures of stuff when you're looking at stuff. Whenever I rent a car these days, what do? I film the whole car, walk around it. It's time dated, even location dated. It's a 4K camera. You can zoom it in and out after you take the pictures, right? Then if they say, and they tried it once on me in Nashville, oh, you cracked the windshield. Like, oh, here's mine. Oh, look, we zoomed, the crack was already there. Oh, okay, we won't charge you for it. But if you don't have that information, you're going to get screwed over. So always take pictures, and I hope you took a picture of that on the outside. Because if they can see all they did was paint over there and then flip the tire so the bad side was on the inside where you couldn't see it. Now, as a young mechanic, you couldn't do it because they were all white wall tires. They're only white wall on one side. The other side was black. But with modern tires, no. I would hire a lawyer if I were you and go after them. And they really cheated you, and that's a safety thing. I'd get a lawyer involved. It's a big company. They do billions of dollars a year in business. They got lots of money to pay you. Rylet says, my parents have a 2013 Nissan Rogue all-wheel drive, 93,000 miles. She went from Milwaukee to Madison to see me 80 miles. She lost power and she had to pull over. She had to shut the car off, wait 5 minutes, and then the transmission would barely go. Taking it to the dealer. Do you think it's a transmission? What do I have to say to Nissan to make them change my transmission for free? Well, good luck on getting them fixing anything for free. That's an 8-year-old Nissan with 93,000 miles. They're not going to do anything on it. Nissan uses the world's worst transmissions. They're called Jatcos because Nissan owns that company. And they sell transmissions. They used to sell them to all kinds of companies, but they're so crappy. Most of those companies aren't even buying them. They're buying them from Aisin, the Toyota company, or they're making their own rather than use those crappy Jatco transmissions. And that is a crappy Jatco transmission. Pray that it's an electronic failure, that maybe the module is going bad and when it heats up it won't shift right. But from my experience of those, it's normally an internal transmission failure, and you're going to find out it's going to cost so much money. And that's a 8-year-old Nissan. It might be more than the vehicle is worth. In the case of that, if they tell you that it's going to be, $8,000 or $6,000, my advice would be call some junkyards. And if you can find a used transmission that they guarantee works, put that in and then sell the car if you can sell it for some decent money. Because to fix it right, it's probably going to cost more money than the vehicle's worth, which is the reason I tell people not to buy that Nissan crap, because it's crap. It's garbage. It doesn't hold up. And there's no way you're ever going to get them to fix that thing for free. It's out of warranty. It's older. It's got 93,000 miles. They don't even care. If you're 2 miles over the warranty, they're not going to pay for anything. I've had customers like that here in Houston, and they'd say, oh, nope, you're out of the warranty period. You got to pay for it out of your own pocket. They just don't care. And the only way you can get even is never buy another one. Tell all your friends. Share it with people like me so I can tell millions of people what crap they're making so people won't buy them anymore. Surely I should know better, says. Got an '09 Dodge Ram. It won't start, and the lightning strike was pretty close to it in a puddle, and it was sitting in a big puddle at the time. Now I tried, nothing happens. I tried jump starting it, still nothing. Hell, lightning has millions of volts of electricity. Your vehicle has got 12 volts. If it won't even crank, you try jumping, it won't even crank. I can guarantee you, first of all, it fried your main computer, the PCM. Now, there's a bunch of other modules, and it could have fried a whole bunch with 1,000,000-something volts hitting nearby. But pray, check all the fuses, replace any of them. If it still doesn't crank, have the PCM, the power tank control module, the main computer replaced and reprogrammed, and then see what happened. I had a guy have that happen to him, and then it started, ran, but then the ABS light stayed on. And I checked, and I said, well, it also fried your ABS module. And they said, well, I don't care. I'll just run it with regular brakes. And they drove it that way. If they would have wanted to fix it, then I would have had to replace the ABS module and reprogram that too, which was going to be a bunch more money. So he was happy that it ran, just changing the PCM. Anytime you get hit by lightning, it's going to fry things. Now, normally the tires will ground it. But if your case, you were in deep water and lightning hit close, it'll go right through the water and get to the truck because there's metal that's in the water and the tires don't stop it anymore then. And that's probably what happened. I've seen it happen many times. 392 Black Ice says, I got a 2019 392 Charger Scat Pack 10,000 miles automatic. I got in an accident a month ago. I had it repaired. I was driving, the windshield wiper started going on, and the lights came on. All right, take it right back to whoever worked on that car. They screwed up something. Here's the thing. You got that screaming fast car, and they get in wrecks. I'm assuming it was at a reasonably high speed. Modern cars are going to be absolute cows to fix like that if they get into higher speed wrecks, because everything is computer. They got the CAN bus line that's like your backbone that sends all the information to all the different modules. There's many modules, and obviously something is screwed up on that. Could be the body control module, the wiring going to it, any kind of sensors on the system. With these modern cars, and especially with these collision avoidance systems, which yours has, you might find that system's going to go haywire too, because a lot of these body shops, they do great body work. They look great when you get them back, but they're not electronic engineers. Sometimes the metal's rubbing against the wiring. You get it back and it works fine. Then 6 months or a year later, the metal rubs on the wiring and all those systems start breaking down. And it's all because of the wreck. My own experience, especially with these modern ones, you get a modern day car that's wrecked, try to get it totaled, get the money. Or if you do get it fixed, try to sell it if you can get decent money right away. Because in the future, you're probably going to have problems up the wazoo. And very rarely is an insurance company going to say, oh, well, we'll pay for it because it was part of the wreck. They're going to say, the body shop should have fixed it right. They didn't. It's between you and them, not us. And they're never going to fix something a year or two later. And it can very well have to do with the accident. Metal's rubbing on wiring, and it's solid now, but eventually it rubs a hole, and it can take years. So you get in a big wreck with a modern car. My advice is get rid of the thing as soon as you can. Or try to get it totaled, get the money, and start all over again. Lou Guitar says, Scotty, great vids. I'm looking for an ABS actuator for 2010 Toyota Highlander hybrid with 200,000 miles. Some places are selling for $1,000. Is it really so expensive? Should I go to a salvage yard and get a used one? What do you suggest? Well, this is one reason I tell people not to buy hybrid cars. The parts on them are uber expensive. And if it does need actuator assembly, price a new one at Toyota and you're going to crap in your pants. They cost a fortune. Now, getting a used one, if you don't mind gambling with used parts, you're going to have to pay a mechanic to put it on and then reprogram the computer to accept it. They're very complicated systems. Go ahead and try it if you want. That's the problem with these hybrid cars with all this technology and then your ABS technology on top of it. When it breaks, it can cost a fortune. But on the other hand, ABS systems are an add-on system. If it drives and runs okay and stops okay, when your ABS system stops working, it goes to non-ABS normal brakes. It works okay otherwise, you could live without it. Because realize, it's got 200,000 miles. It's 11 years old. It's 2010. You're going to get a used one, it's going to have to be pretty close to 2010 because they're always changing the stuff. It's going to be an old part. Maybe it's good, maybe it isn't. Who knows? If it does stop okay, it's an add-on system. A lot of people live with it. I got a lot of customers driving cars where the ABS system doesn't work anymore and it's just normal brakes, and they're not going to spend the money, and they know how to drive, they know how to brake, and that's how they drive them. They don't put that kind of money into it. It is an add-on system. Taha says, Scotty, have you ever considered becoming a comedian? Yeah, I thought I was. I just have a very dry sense of humor, like in English. Even though I'm like 90% German, the Germans have no sense of humor at all. Yeah, that's one of the toughest jobs in the world is being a comedian because you got to get fresh material. You got to do funny stuff. And today, there are a bunch of comedians out there, I just watched a program on it, that won't even go to college campuses anymore because everybody's so PC now. You might say the wrong word. Well, comedians can make fun of anything. That's the role of comedy. And of course, with our bizarre society today, sometimes the best news you're going to get is from a comedian because they can tell the truth, and since it's comedy, they don't get sued. If they just came out and slandered somebody, they'd sue them. But if it's comedy, Hey, it's a public figure. You can make fun of them, right? All information these days. Some of it's so serious, and the media wants to hide everything and chase us all around with virus and all this crazy crap that they can just get easy stories where they don't have to go anywhere. I know. I used to do a gig, Crank It Up, with Scotty on CBS, and I saw how lazy these people in the media are. I remember they had one meeting and a news director said, now just don't go to your desk and Google something and write a story on it. They said, no, we'll do original research. Then you look at the reporters, they're back at their desk Googling all the stories again. They're extremely lazy people, most of them. And if they got a story like a virus, they're gonna feed on that thing forever. Only one virus left on the planet, they'll still be doing stories on it. Really? Today, you're getting more news from the comedians than you are from these supposed news organizations. I work with those guys. I know how it goes. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.